Well, Russ, all very frustrating the last week or so, I think.
In football terms, yes, but had a rare Christmas at home, which was great. So I think myself and the players enjoyed that, and we're ready to bounce back and go again.
The Kettering game, you must have had your doubts about, because obviously they'd gone down fairly early with COVID. Hereford won a bit more of a late call, I suppose. Yeah,
with the Kettering, obviously they called their game off the Tuesday before Southport, so you kind of had in the back of your mind that wasn't going to be played. The Hereford was late notice, but again, probably didn't surprise me after reflecting on it, looking at all the games called off up and down the country. Just seems to be the way it has been the last couple of weeks, but it looks a lot more positive now, and games are coming around thick and fast.
Yes, because I think on Tuesday your game and Hereford's games were the only two that were off, actually, so hopefully the picture is looking a bit brighter now.
Yeah, and also there's a lot more Premier League games this weekend, and I think everyone bases on that really. So look, we've had a really good week of training, we enjoyed Christmas, and it's now time to get back to work.
Did you have to rejig things, obviously having had the games called off, your training schedule?
Not really, because we had a full week to plan ahead, so the lads had Christmas off, and we had a full week of training. We're going to a couple of days of training now before we go to Edgar Street on Sunday, and then we've got a jam-packed January, so really looking forward to the next couple of months. Amazing how quickly the season's going into the latter part already, and we've got to be right at it every day and every game.
Yeah, so heading into January, clubs are still only playing 16, 17, 18 games. Obviously, you didn't have the midweek games that you normally have early on, so there's going to be a lot of football to be played now. Yeah,
I said at the start of the season I didn't quite understand that scenario because everyone's got to be playing catch up now. But like I said, I think everyone knows where they are this season. We've got a few games to catch up on, but we'll do that in Jan and Feb, which is absolutely fine, and we'll look forward to it.
Obviously, you don't want the games on over the Christmas period, as we've spoken about before. It's a great time to be involved in football, isn't it, really? I suppose the other side of it is if you're carrying a few knocks and niggles, at least you get a bit of a breather.
Yeah, I suppose it suits the clubs, really, but we were fine. We were healthy last week and we're healthy this week, so there's no doubt in my mind that we'll be fully prepared for the thick and fast January. First
up then, as you mentioned, Hereford away on Sunday.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Hopefully a good crowd. Went there a month ago, and it's a different situation now in the league. I think the points are a lot more heated, and both teams will be looking to win the game.
Reflecting on that trophy game, it finished 1-1. Obviously, you won it on penalties. What did you make of Hereford that day?
I don't think it was a great spectacle for both teams, to be honest. I think the wind spoilt the game up and down the country, and we just grinded out a solid draw with them. To win on penalties, so I don't take anything from that game really. So we've just got to go there full strength on Sunday and look to win the game.
It's not your concern, obviously, in the first instance, in the sense you'll play whoever they put out in front of you. But do you read anything into the fact, obviously, they've had COVID, they could have a few missing?
Not really, because it's a local derby, and I expect them to come right at us like we do with them. So. I think every team in the league has had the problems, and you've got to deal with that accordingly.
We've got to the turn of the year. Obviously, it's normally a time when managers kind of reflect on the first half of the season, if you like, and so far so good. Is that a fair assessment?
Relatively pleased. Only played 16 games, so we've got a hell of a lot of football to be played. Sunday's all that matters to me, really. We've got to. I want to start 2022 with a bang, and no better place to do it on Sunday. Under no illusion, it's got to be a really tough game, and then the rest of the month takes care of itself. We've got to take one game at a time, and can't get too carried away with what we've got in front of us and how many points we can pick up, because it can slap you in the face very quickly. So we've got a big game against Hereford, and then you got the Farsleys, your Darlingtons, all in a really jam-packed January.
Yeah, you have to fit in the Hereford home game and the trip to Kettering somewhere along the line as well.
Yeah, I think that's been talked about in behind the scenes. We've got a couple of 3 weeks ahead before now to the end of the season, so that'll be fine. And when they come around, we'll be ready. But it's not my concern at the moment.
And I appreciate it's always the old thing, it's one game at a time. But nonetheless, great news that the Reading game in the FA Cup is a sellout.
Yeah, no surprise. The crowd that we had against Grimsby and Halifax, and obviously Reading being a championship side, filling out their end. It's great. It's great for the club, great for the town. but we'll worry about that on Monday.
Final point, just back to the COVID thing really. I mean, as I said, it was brighter on Tuesday in the sense that only 2 games in Valley North were off. But nationally, the rates are still very high, aren't they? Is it a concern, do you think, among clubs that, you know, we don't want this to go down the same road as previous seasons?
More cases, yes, seems to be the case, but I don't think people are getting as ill. Listen, I watch the news like everybody else. And I think listening to what the league are doing this week in terms of not testing on the day, I think slowly but surely we're finding solutions and we're looking after people a lot more, and the club seem to be in a better place. I think it's a learning curve for everyone in the FA and the football industry going forward, and how we make things easy and better going forward, because it's got to be around for a long time. It's just how we deal with it going forward.
A very last question, injury-wise. Obviously, we played the last 10 days or so. How are you looking?
As of today, everyone's fit.
Brilliant, thank you very much,
Trev.
Just a word on Marcus as well, because we've not had a chance to speak about him on the record, and in fairness, Harriers fans would have expected to have seen him twice by now, but what are we getting? Why is he here? Kind of what's made him stand out for you when he was available?
I think we just need to be covered in all positions going forward into a really busy period from now to the end of the season. A quality player who was played at Telford a couple of years ago at this level, did really well. We tried to actually sign him then when he moved to Stevenage. The kid wants to play as high as he can. It hasn't quite worked out for him as of yet, but he's played a lot of games for Altrincham this year. They're just going in a different direction for the next couple of months, and we've pounced on bringing him in.
And is it one of those where he could benefit from the full-time training here as well? Obviously Altrincham playing a level higher in terms of the pyramid, but kind of coming in training more or less every day, it has its benefits, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's the attraction we've got on some other clubs. And he's local. He lives 2 miles down the road, which is great for us. So he can really give us 100% now until when his loan finishes, whenever that will be.